Hi, I'm Alan,
And I'm Russell,
and welcome to Popculture Pontification.
the show where we talk about post-apocalyptic open-world RPGs.
Like every week, it started out with like 8 things.
Yeah.
And every week you've like knocked 1 or 2 off.
Yeah.
And now it's getting down to the point where it's just like, this is the thing I want to talk about this week.
Well, I think you want to talk about it as well. So.
That's true. Well, I got a bit of it out of my system last week.
Yeah.
But for those who haven't put 2 and 2 together, Russell...
To make 4.
That's true. Russell was forced by his girlfriend to buy Fallout 4 so that she could watch him play it.
Forced is a strong word. She said that it might be nice.
Yeah, but it's Jamie.
Yeah.
And you're like, of course, my love.
Yeah, basically.
But then she made you... Well, she didn't make you. You were put in the position where you had to get it for the PS4 so she could watch you play it on the big screen. Where
Yes.
you really wanted it on the PC.
Well, that was only because of the potential for mods.
That's true. Yes.
But
and I am aware that she listens to this, so
Yeah.
I hope she knows it.
I have found out before I bought it that they are going to bring mods to the PlayStation as well. So,
But it's not going to be like sort of open source though.
well,
like,
I
usually
usually it'll be
with-
like curated somehow.
Yeah, usually with the PC mods, it's a real free for all. Like, here's a thing that turns it into Cloud Strife.
Yeah, well, I might not have like copyright infringing or pornographic mods, but
Yes, there's always a nude mod.
oh yeah, it's
Like,
like the
they did
first
it-
thing they do.
Did it in Skyrim. They're definitely going to do it in this.
Yeah, big tit mod.
Big head mod is usually a classic that comes out.
Yeah,
That might
DK
be
mode,
Mm.
as it was called in GoldenEye.
Was it called in GoldenEye?
Yeah, DK mode
Donkey Kong mode? What's
Yeah.
the DK for?
for Donkey Kong.
Because Donkey Kong's
He's a
got
big head and big arms, a
Okay.
small body.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll go with you there. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but sure.
Well, don't ask me. Ask the creators of GoldenEye.
Fair enough. So,
Yes.
then.
Well, I've
well, you're the fresh cherry popped Fallout 4
Jesus.
player here. So why don't you? And I'm the what would be the opposite of cherry pop? The slut. I'm a old
I guess
whore.
so. You're like tired old.
droopy,
Yeah.
saggy, hot dog down a hallway player of Fallout 4.
Yeah. After
So-
what? 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks or so,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm level 26. 26 and a half. I couldn't decide it was 26 or 7.
Ah,
But yeah,
okay.
I'm 26.
Is that a high level?
Well, there's no limit to the levels you can achieve.
No
And I
limit.
think, yeah, you just keep getting levels.
Surely there is like a hard limit somewhere in the code.
Eventually, what, like like a string limit? Like a long
Yeah,
integer limit?
like you reach level 999,999 and then you can't go any higher.
Well, yes, I would assume. And I'd also assume that there is some sort of limit in the mechanics of the game. Like, eventually you'll run out of quests. And then you'll run out of things to kill, you'll run out of means to obtain XP.
Won't creatures just respawn?
I don't know if they do. I know
Surely they do.
they won't in buildings,
Mm.
because in the map it'll say, like, waterworks also cleared, which means there's nothing left.
Oh,
in
really?
it. You've killed everything, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, which is, hey, that's a good starting point. That's awesome, because it means you don't have to go back and see if you did everything, because it's cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But-
that's handy.
I had to do a mission where I had to go to like a car manufacturing plant
Mm-hmm.
and kill all the guys in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know where this is going.
I never got that message.
No? Well,
No.
you check it on the map, not on, it doesn't like
Oh,
pop
it
up.
doesn't pop up.
No.
Like mission
No,
complete.
No. But if your mission is to clear a place out
Yeah.
of bad guys,
Yeah.
there'll be one guy in there who is sort of like classified as the boss.
Ah, okay.
And so you'll go in, you can just sneak past everybody else,
Yeah.
kill that one guy, and it'll be like, mission complete.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He'll be marked on the map. He'll be like, have an important sign on your
Ah.
HUD.
Oh, that's good to know. I hadn't noticed. I just murdered everyone in there.
Well, that's what you should do, because that gives you XP.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's fun, and you get stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had to give you a couple of tips so far. Like
yeah.
the ability to pick up frag mines on VATs.
The game doesn't fucking tell you anything.
Well, there's like context clues and stuff like that.
Is there?
Yeah. Like it'll have like little messages pop up. Like the first time you crouch, it'll say, crouching improves your chances of not being seen.
Yeah.
Stay out of spotlights and stay in the shadows. And you know, first time you do something else, or first time you aim, it'll be like, oh, if you crouch while you're aiming, then you'll have a greater chance of hitting in VATs and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But the first time it goes beep beep beep, boom, and you get blown up by a landmine.
I think
it doesn't say, you should have looked in VATS.
I think you run into like landmines in a way that won't kill you when you first hit them.
I don't remember that.
I can't remember it either. But
I assume I just barreled through and got blown up.
Well, it does have a great introduction level, which is you start in the house, and then it'll be like, oh, this is how you walk around and stuff and interact with things.
Yeah.
And then you go through, and then you're in the apocalypse. I'm trying to steer clear of spoilers here, even though it's not really a spoiler.
The game's called Fallout. I think people are aware it's after a nuclear war.
I meant like the method in which you get to the apocalypse.
Right.
Pre-apocalypse.
Yeah. Magic.
Science and magic.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually science. But also, magic in our hearts.
Well, yeah.
Anyway. And then it runs you through getting out of the vault and into the wastelands.
Yes.
And then it does a very good job of introducing things to you very slowly. Like you'll run along and then there'll be a door that's only half open. So then you got to crouch to go through it. And then, that's how you crouch. And then you pick up a melee weapon. And it's like, this is how you hit things with a melee weapon.
Oh, it's a guy you have to hit.
Oh, and it's a rad roach, and you got to hit the rad roach. And then you'll go, and then you'll find a gun. And it'll be like, oh, here's a gun. And so on and so forth. This is how you shoot with that. And then there'll be a bunch of things you got to shoot. And you'll have to use VATS, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then you'll run into, like, a lock that you can't pick. You'll be like, be sure to remember to come back here when you've got a high enough level lock picking. And this is how that works. And stuff. So it's all very well organized in that regard, I feel. I've done a lot of talking. Now it's your turn.
Well, where shall we go from here?
Well, you can keep talking about the game. What are your thoughts? You're a fresh pair of baby blue eyes.
Yeah.
Focused upon a brand new dawn.
A brand new irradiated dawn.
Irradiated dawn. It's a very pretty game, though.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Sans frag mines.
Yeah, besides frag mines. It's taught me to quick save very often.
Is there a keyboard shortcut for quick save? There's got to be. I haven't looked into it because I don't die like a bitch every time I run across.
There probably is. It's usually on F5 or F6.
Yeah. It's like usually what F3 is quick load, F4 is quick save or something like that.
I think it's usually F5 is quick save, F9 is quick load.
Actually, no, I think you're absolutely right there.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking of.
I don't know what F3 is.
I don't know.
On the PlayStation, you just press start and then the first menu option is quick save.
Yeah, well, that's the same on the PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. But does it have like a button that you can press? Like you press select and a quick save or nothing like that? No?
And maybe you can reconfigure it.
Mm-hmm. How are you finding the aiming and stuff to go in on console?
Outside of VATS, my gun obscures most of the screen, so I can't really see what I'm pointing at.
Do you know how to VATS aim?
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? You mean to point at different body parts?
You came in so confident. You're like, do you know how to VATS aim? Absolutely.
Because I thought everybody knows how to do that.
Unless
he's talking about something I don't know about.
It's sort of a trick that you can use. You go into VATS and aim at a person's body part or whatever. Then exit out of VATS without shooting, and you'll be pointed right where you were in VATS, and then you can hit fire normally.
Okay.
And so it's a real good way of, especially with sniper rifles.
And it doesn't use any AP.
Nope, because you're just entering and exiting VATS.
Wow, that's cheap.
It's been in Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. Every modern Fallout game has it.
It's like in some FPSs you can use a scope to zoom in on somebody and then switch out to your Magnum handgun. And as long as you haven't moved the mouse, you're still pointing at exactly the same point. Yeah.
Well, that's a fun trick. What else? What other tips and tricks are there? I showed you how to use plants to get adhesive.
Adhesive, yeah.
Yes, which is...
God. If anyone winds up in the apocalypse, make sure you take loads of duct tape and glue.
Military duct tape, ideally, because then you get adhesive and ballistic fibers.
Ballistic fibers?
Yeah, which is used on the later clothing modifications.
For armor.
Yes, correct.
I see.
What do you think of the crafting system?
It's pretty fun. It's pretty expansive.
There's
you can craft weapons and armor for yourself and clothing and food and everything, and then as well as that you can craft a house and a village. And
I feel like the build crafting, building a house and stuff, isn't really that great. People have done great things with it, but I don't think it's very intuitive.
Well, they just sort of say, here's a bunch of tools.
Figure it out.
For your life. Yeah. And you've made like a castle in the sky.
I did make a castle in the sky right above the entrance to the town with like 6 turrets and like sniping positions and stuff like that.
It's held up by like one rickety wooden staircase.
Just one ladder going up. And then you gotta... But it's good, yeah. In that regard, is that there's a lot of room for experimentation.
Yeah. And you can set your guys to like, grow food and...
That's correct, yes. And guard. You can set them to guard things. You have like little guard encampments that you can build. You can assign people to that, and then they'll pull a gun out and stand there.
So it's nice that they... Well, I don't want to say that they just tacked it on, but they've given you this whole other like base building resource management game on top of the action RPG.
Yes. Now, did you know that every time you modify a gun, like with a scope,
an angel gets its wing?
It's true. Yes, it is indeed a wonderful life. No, you keep that modification.
Oh yeah. I've got loads
and then
of
you can like swap
short barrels.
You can, instead of just continually building that stuff. Like if you've got a 10mm pistol that you've modified with like heavy, powerful body and then like sharpshooter's grip and all that sort of stuff and a scope and whatnot, and then you find a better 10mm pistol that's got like an ability on it. Instead of building it all over again, you go to your old one, swap it out for all the crappy parts that it started off with, and then you can go over to the new one and just sort of equip all the new ones to it.
Handy.
Yeah.
When you say an ability, do you mean like a enchanted 10mm pistol?
Have you not run across any like legendary enemies yet?
No.
Oh, okay. They're these... It doesn't always happen with legendary enemies, but every now and then you'll run across and you will find a weapon or a piece of armor or something that's got like a ability. It'll have a little star next to it, and when you pick it up, it'll bring it up on the screen. It'll be like, ta-da! Here's the thing you got. Like a walking cane with a chance to cripple people when you hit them with it.
Oh, nice.
Stuff like that. And every now and then you run across an enemy that's legendary, which means that you will shoot it and do damage to it, but when it gets to about half to a third of its health, it'll mutate.
Yeah.
And it'll become more powerful, and all of its health will come back. And then if you kill it again at that point, then you go loot the body. It'll always have a special item that has like a special ability.
Okay.
Like I picked up a 10mm pistol the other day that when I'm aiming with it, my movement speed isn't decreased.
Ah.
Or it's like not as decreased as much.
Yeah.
And I have a rifle of some description that shoots 2 bullets instead of 1, but it only costs me 1 bullet to shoot.
Ah, was this one you were telling me that does like a bajillion damage?
It doesn't do a bajillion damage. With all the mods I've got, it currently does per bullet about 114 damage.
Which gets doubled because
Which gets doubled.
Do the 2 bullets go in the same direction, or is it like a contrast?
There is some slight spread, but
okay.
for the most part, you just hit it spot on.
Yeah.
I took out a death claw with it in about 5 shots.
Yeah.
So,
I took out a death claw in about 500 million shots.
With the minigun, yeah.
That bit, by the way, was not good.
What do you mean? How so? Well, you didn't think it was well orchestrated?
No, I got fucking massacred by the death claw.
Oh, wrecked your shit?
Yeah, like 3 times, and then I like climbed up into a building
and just
sat on a balcony where it couldn't get to me.
I have seen people. I've watched videos online of people playing the game, obviously.
Yeah.
And every time somebody tries to like hide in a building where it can't get into, like the deathclaw runs away and hides around a corner and stuff like that. Did it do that to you?
Yeah. No, I just waited and it came around on a patrol path and I gave it a face full of minigun.
But poor dog meat getting the shit kicked out of it.
Yeah. Poor dog meat.
That happened. Well, he's effectively a
eventually he like climbed up to where I was and I told him to stay so that he wouldn't get chomped again. And then I forgot to get him.
And he just
so for like the next 3 hours, I didn't see the dog at all. I was like, where'd my dog go?
But if you fast travel, he fast travels to you.
Yeah. Eventually I fast traveled.
Or if you go through a load zone, I think he will click to you.
No, he didn't.
No? Like if you go into a building, he won't? No? Okay.
At least he doesn't on my version.
I don't travel with companions, so...
Yeah. You're a loner.
I'm a lone wolf. I'm the lone wanderer.
Do you have that perk?
I do have lone wanderer perk, yeah.
Right.
Just gives me... I can carry so much stuff. It's ridiculous.
Oh, really? Does it boost your carry capacity?
When you pick the lone wanderer... The lone wanderer... The lone wanderer...
Yeah.
Skill tree. Then I think the first one, it gives you 50 extra carry capacity. The next one is 100 extra carry capacity. And there's some other miscellaneous...
Does that mean if I have a companion, I can get them to carry things?
Yeah, you can. You didn't know that?
No.
You can give stuff to dog meat, and he'll carry it for you.
Really?
Yeah. You just talk to him and then you go trade. And then you just fill his inventory with a load of nonsense.
One of the best things about Torchlight, which is a Diablo clone, was when you were down in the dungeon, you were killing mobs and getting all their treasure. And eventually your inventory got filled up. If you were playing Diablo, you'd have to portal back to town and sell it. In this one, you could give all of your shit to your dog. And he would run back to town and sell it all. And then he'd run back down to you and give you all the gold.
Was he like a good barterer? Do you think he really haggled them down?
Oh yeah, he got good deals.
It's like, oh, I can't trick this guy. I can't
give him the old puppy dog
give him a good deal because he's a puppy dog.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep talking about Fallout, or do you want to go on to something else?
I think that's probably enough for that chat.
I could keep going.
I'm sure you could. Would you like
to? No. Well, yes, but also probably shouldn't. I agree. I only have like one other thing to talk about, so if you have more than that, I am just going to tell funny stories about things that have happened to me in the past.
In Fallout?
No, just in real life.
All right.
Because I have nothing else to talk about, and I have a bunch of stories.
First up is the news that PlayStation is apparently going to have some sort of backwards compatibility with PlayStation 2 games.
Is this like a new version of PlayStation 4?
No, they're just going to have like a firmware update.
Oh, okay. I thought it'd be like, PlayStation 4S. Oh, now with backwards compatibility.
No, that'd be a pain in the ass.
That means that the hardware for backwards compatibility was always inside in the console.
Well, not exactly, because they're going to try and do it with software emulation.
So you're not going to be able to just chuck a disc in.
Well, that's unclear. I hope that you will be able to, because I have a shitload of PlayStation 2 games.
It's not really backwards compatibility if they're just releasing the games as downloads.
Yeah, I really hope
that's not backwards compatibility. That's, hey, how about some downloads?
Yeah, hey, how about you give us more money for games you already own?
Yeah. Ooh, you know what would be a cool idea? Every game has like a serial number, right? Like a CD number or whatever. Like they did it back in the day.
Like a CD key?
Yeah. Like,
not console games.
Wait, hang on a sec. I got one sitting around here somewhere.
Alright. Well, I'll keep on talking while you're doing whatever you're doing. Or have you already found what you were after?
Well, I found Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back.
Truly the greatest of the Crash Bandicoot games.
I'm not legit, I'm serious. That is an absolutely correct statement. Yeah, on top of the game, they've got like unique serial keys.
I don't think that's unique, though.
You don't think so?
It's probably on every CD.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have another Crash Bandicoot CD to compare it to. It's unfortunate that I am now apparently talking out of my ass. So, let's move on.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to play it with discs, because I have a PlayStation copy of Beyond Good and Evil, which I would really like to play.
And we can have...
we can revisit it.
Revisit review.
Yeah. Plus, I can play like Tekken Tag and...
Tekken Tag Tournament. I have a story about Tekken Tag Tournament.
Oh, this would be a good time to share.
This isn't even on my list of things, of personal stories I could tell.
Yeah.
I used to hang out with a guy who was a very big gamer. And I've always been sort of casual. And I definitely never played any fighting games. And he had a huge temper on him. And
you beat him with some cheap move, didn't you?
We're getting there.
Okay.
I just picked 2 random characters.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And he was talking so much smack about how he's going to kick me, because it was his game. And of course, so he was very good. And so there was like, ready, go! And I just walked up to him and I just started mid-kneeing his character. But he got flustered, and he just couldn't like do. He's like, oh well, shit, what do I do? And I just started laughing at him like harder. And as the more I did it, the funnier it got, and everybody else around us who was watching us play, like a couple of other mates, started laughing as well. Which just made him get angry and angrier. Which means he just couldn't do anything with the controller because he was blind with rage. And so I just kneed his character to death. And then like his other guy tagged in, but he was still really angry. So I was like, we're going to do it again. And just ran up to his character and just started mid-kneeing his other character. And he got so angry that he destroyed the controller.
Oh, Jesus.
He was just like, get out of here. I was like, I'm the champion. And then I refused to ever play him again.
Yeah, you retired.
I retired undefeated. It was the best.
Yeah. That's my usual strategy with fighting games.
Oh, get the other person flustered?
No, I pick the character who looks coolest.
Okay.
And then I just do one of their basic moves over and over and over again until my brother usually, or whoever it is, works out how to beat it. And then I'll switch to some other move and just do it over and over and over again.
Well, you could say that you're doing them a service.
I am.
Because you're teaching them
him how to defeat my character.
Defeat the game.
One move at a time.
God, no. No, I've never really been into fighting games. I did a little bit of Street Fighter back in the day, but never Tag Tournament or anything like that. Tekken, I never really understood. Like the controls, like quarter circle heavy punch. It's so easy in Street Fighter.
I've always been a casual fighting game fan.
Yes.
But it is fun on the couch with your brother, just punching the shit out of each other.
So, unfortunately, there's a way to bring it up.
Yeah.
I don't have a brother.
Did he die or?
I've never had one.
Okay, good. It's not as awkward as it could have been.
No.
What have we got next? I watched a couple of movies on the weekend, aside from the Forced Review.
Yes. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we had a movie double of 90s sci-fi horror movies.
90s sci-fi horror movies?
Yeah.
So like Aliens?
No.
What would you classify as a sci-fi horror?
Well, I'm about to tell you.
No, I want to guess. I'm trying to figure out. Well, Aliens, the original Alien, could absolutely be classified as a sci-fi horror.
Yeah, good.
Yes. But that's not one of the ones you're talking about.
No, that wasn't out in the 90s.
That's a very good point, actually. I'm trying to think of any. Like, none of the Predators would count.
Was Predator 2?
Predator 2 could possibly be classified as a sci-fi horror.
Was it in the 90s?
Possibly. I don't know, you're asking the wrong guy. Right?
Should be asking Danny Glover, the only person who remembers Predator 2.
Wasn't Arnie? Arnie was in Predator 2, wasn't he? No, wasn't he?
No.
Oh,
Predator goes to the city.
Yeah, I know, but I thought Arnie was
like
there.
Babe Pig in the City.
Babe 2 Pig in the City, yeah. Alright, no, I give up. I can't think of any.
Okay. The first one was The Cube, or just Cube, I think.
It's Cube. Yeah, I've never watched it, but I've heard it's fucking awful.
No, it's good.
Is it?
No, apparently Cube 2 and Cube 3 are bad.
Is that the guy...
Cube 2 has the best sequel subtitle ever, though.
Cube 2.
Cube 2, Hypercube.
I was going to say, maybe they'll do some sort of, like, math reference. No. Like Cube 2. Now it's a 3D.
No.
4D or whatever. No, because doesn't Cube, unless I'm thinking of a different movie, which is entirely possible given our history, have the guy from Stargate Atlantis, the science guy?
I have no
You've no idea. Alright, you keep talking, I'm going to look this up.
Okay. Alright, so Cube is a low-budget Canadian sci-fi horror movie about... it's kind of like a prison / torture chamber / whatever. And these people end up in this cube, basically, a square room, equally high as it is wide and long. And they have no idea why they're there, and they have no idea what they're meant to do.
Okay, is this guy in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, David Hewlett.
Right.
I only know that because I looked it up.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of my favourite actors.
Ah, okay, well then you should watch this movie.
I know, yeah. But I know something about the plot only because I've looked up his IMDb and stuff like that. So, yeah,
well, without giving anything away, the cube that they're in is surrounded by cubes on each side. That
it's on all sides as well, isn't it? Top and bottom as well. Yeah.
And they're virtually identical. They just have different coloured walls. And the reason for that is because they only had one set. And they...
So then they had one cube?
Yeah.
How did they show, like, the looking through to other cubes? Then?
Well, they had enough of a second cube that
to show,
they
like,
could
looking
shoot
through the doorway.
Through the thing. It was remarkably effective. It never, like, seemed cheap or dodgy in the movie. And some of the rooms have ridiculous death traps in them. Like, they have these, like, razor wires that swirl around and slice you into pieces, or they have, like, flamethrowers or whatever. And basically, this group of people who don't know each other and don't know why they're there have to try and escape from this.
Is one of them the
trap.
mastermind of the entire procedure? Because that's usually how these things go.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting to happen. And I won't give anything away.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes.
It was pretty good. Some of the acting was pretty shonky.
I've heard that it's quite often shown in, like, outdoor cinemas and stuff like that. Like, Luna Cinemas here quite often shows The Cube.
Oh, okay.
Unless I'm thinking of another movie. No, don't look at me. I've got no idea.
Yeah, there's one of the main characters has, like, anger management issues. And
is it David Hewlett?
No. I don't know who the actor is, but I just don't think he's a very good actor. But otherwise, the movie was really good, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Did you enjoy the ending?
Yeah.
I think you give it a lot of thought. I think it's a yes or no question.
Well, I had to remember what happened at the end.
Clearly a very memorable movie.
Yeah. The second movie we watched was Event Horizon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there. Sci-fi horror. Yep.
Yeah?
I've seen Event Horizon.
Yeah.
I think we watched it together, actually.
No, it was the first time I've seen it.
Oh, first time you've seen it? Who
Yeah.
did I watch it with? Not important.
Which is a much higher budget movie.
Yes, and it has that guy who really loves lamb.
Oh, yeah, Sam Neill. From those lamb ads.
Those lamb ads.
And also
TV.
Jurassic Park.
And also Jurassic Park. More well known for Jurassic Park, possibly.
I don't know, these days.
Possibly, yeah. Like with
more
the,
well
with
known
the
for
young,
lamb.
with the youth. You've never seen Jurassic Park?
Also, Jurassic Park 3.
Yes, that's right, he wasn't. We don't talk about that. Doesn't that also have that Jeff Goldblum? Isn't he in 3 as well?
No, he's in 2.
Is he in 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2's all about him and his
black daughter.
Yeah. And the Tyrannosaurus
Mocha daughter.
goes to San Diego or somewhere.
San Francisco? San Diego?
I don't know. I think it's San Diego.
Who cares? It's not a very good movie.
Yeah, Event Horizon. Also starring Lawrence Fishburne and a bunch of other people.
Yep. Some quite famous actors.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name.
It was much higher budget. Terrible CGI though.
Yeah.
It was like 1998
It's
or 1997.
a very odd plot.
Yeah,
as well.
basically it's set in the future, like 100 years or so, and a spaceship that was designed to travel faster than light went missing years ago, and just recently resurfaced in the outer reaches of the solar system. And Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne and the rest of this motley crew dispatched to investigate the incident.
Now, there's one thing about this movie that always made me really upset. Is that they do this...
There's a lot of upsetting things in this movie.
No. Because there's one part of it where they're all sitting around and they're like... Sam Neill is going around and explaining science. It's like a weird little gangly teenager, sort of like the cabin boy of the movie.
Mm.
And he's like, now tell me, young one, what is the shortest distance between 2 points?
Yeah.
And the kid's like, oh, it's a straight line. And he's like, you're wrong. It's no space at all. It's like, that's not... No, you're a fucking idiot. Because you can't have two separate points that aren't connected by a line of some variety.
No, but then he goes on to demonstrate with a piece of paper like an Interstellar.
Yeah, guess what? That's not how physics works.
It is how space physics works.
Oh, apparently so. But that always upset me, because even if you teleport between two distances in space, regardless of how close they are, they're never going to be obtaining...
No, that's the thing. You make the 2 points overlap.
That's not how... You can't have two things in the same place, Russell.
You can if you, break the laws of physics.
At which point you run into a whole host of other problems, like the basic building blocks of our universe crumbling apart.
Anyway, you'll note the second part of science fiction is in fact fiction.
That's true.
So you can make up whatever the fuck you want.
But the fact that they were just called the kid an idiot for giving a correct answer always upset me.
Anyway, things go terribly when they get out there. This spaceship, I don't know if it was like this, but
I never really understood what happened.
Yeah.
I've seen it 2 or 3 times, and it's always been what?
Basically, this spaceship is like a cross between a Gothic cathedral and the inside of a mincing machine.
That's a very apt description, yes.
It's like gravity drive, which is the engine that can teleport it through wormholes or whatever.
This is timey-wimey, yes.
Fucking giant spherical room with all the walls covered in big spikes.
Yeah, for no particular reason.
Yeah, and in the center of it, this rotating, interlocking series of rings of metal, also covered in spikes and little lights. It's bizarre. It looks like a satanic room. Whoever thought that this would lead to something good?
You have You have no problem with 2 different points in space occupying the same dimensions.
Yeah.
However, we need this room to be full of spikes in order for our science to work.
But they never said that. If they had said, the reason that this room is full of spikes and looks like Satan's living room is because of some science thing, that would have been fine. But nobody ever commented on it. They're just whatever.
I mean, okay, makes sense.
Yeah. And then of course people get stabbed on the spikes and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
Isn't that the finale? Is that the climax? Is one of them gets stabbed on a spike?
I don't know about that. It's
one of the main characters gets fucked up on a spike.
Everybody gets fucked up in this movie.
That's true. But I never really understood why everything goes tits up.
Okay, spoilers. The ship went through a wormhole to hell.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
It's never really, like, that clearly stated.
I think it is.
Is it? Maybe maybe I'm an idiot.
Yeah. And then the ship comes back, and now it's, like, possessed by, like, demonic spirits or whatever.
Oh,
and it drives everyone insane.
That.
Yeah.
Apparently, I just really didn't pay enough attention.
I guess not.
I was too busy stewing over them chewing that kid out for the science explanation.
You're like,
fucking
bullshit.
That is not right. That's not how science works.
Anyway, that was also... it's pretty good. Not as good.
You rank the Cube higher than...
Yeah, I enjoyed Cube better than Event Horizon. A lot of the action shots were really weird.
Like, at the time, I'm sure it was...
I don't think so. This was, like, years
Are we talking about, like, the CG or, like...
Oh, no, the CG was, like, terrible.
Terrible.
There's one good shot at the start where it's, like, orbiting around Earth and you can see these, like, CGI spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked it up and apparently that cost a third of the film's entire budget.
Jeez.
And then later on there's some, like, stuff floating around in zero gravity that's obviously CG and just looks dreadful.
There is a point where there is a frozen body floating around in zero G, and then they turn the gravity back on and the body shatters. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there was lots of good stuff. And all the sets, despite being ridiculous. And the costumes and everything were really good. And the actors were really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this like a new genre fascination you've got, sci-fi horror?
I don't know about that.
I don't think there's that many movies out there that fit the criteria.
There's a few. There's Alien.
You got that from me.
There's other movies.
There are other movies. Well done.
No, these two were just kind of linked, so it made sense to do them as a double.
Fair enough. In the realm of digital things...
Digital sports!
No.
No?
There is a new Digimon series coming out these days. It's just started getting released, which I started watching because I was a big fan of it when I was a kid.
Right.
I started watching it, and it's in Japanese, and it doesn't really feel the same.
That's because you're an old man.
Well, yes, but I went back and I watched like 1 or 2 episodes of the original.
Yeah.
And despite being visually like horrible ratio, it's like 640 by fucking 480. The thing is, when they did the English translation, they did the same thing that they did to Samurai Pizza Cats, which is that they ignored most of the, like the intricate details, and it's just made it funny.
Right.
Like maybe in Japanese, they're like, oh my god, what a serious situation we're in. Oh, we're in a digital world and we don't know what we're doing. But in the English version, they're like, whoa, look at that guy. Whoa, it's crazy. Did
I do that?
But there's a lot more comedy interjected. And I don't know whether they changed that in the translation. But it is something that you did back in the day. But I'm watching the Japanese version, and it's very serious.
Okay.
It's like Digimon are appearing in the real world, and one guy's racked by indecision about fighting them because what if he kills someone, and stuff like that. And I'm like, fucking lighten up, mate. It's a kid's show.
I was going to say, when you say Digimon, I don't think about, like, ethical
moral dilemmas, yeah. But it's about 4 episodes in, and I've watched them all. And it's just not capturing me the same way. Yeah, I'm a little melancholy about it.
Not capturing you like a Pokemon.
Well done, yes. Yeah. Well said.
Digimon like Pokemon?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, they're both Mon.
It's true. They're digital monsters, so they exist in the digital world.
Right.
Which means that they traditionally can't come to the human world unless there's some sort of very special circumstance.
That might happen at the start of episode 1.
Yes. Shockingly enough.
Right.
But no, in the original episodes, there's all like sort of... But yeah, man, this new one is dark. Because the kids who partner up with the Digimon, which allow them to evolve into more powerful forms.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm fucking fascinating you with all this. They're called the Digi-Destined.
Yeah.
Yes. And after the first season ends, the second season starts up.
Is this of the original
Of the
series?
originals, yes.
Okay.
At which point, a whole new team of Digi-Destined take over. But
with a
two
whole
of
new
the kids,
set of figurines?
Possibly, yes. But the time has passed.
Yeah.
And the 2 littlest kids in the original series become part of the new Digi-Destined.
Okay.
And after the first 2 seasons, there's not really... It just goes on to completely different sets of characters and stuff like that.
Right.
But in this is back with the original crew.
Ah.
And at the very first episode, there is like quite a visceral set of like black and white sort of silhouetted episodes showing like all of the new crew of the second season that aren't part of the original crew,
Yeah.
just getting their shit fucked. And just, like, getting taken out, like, hard. They don't show that they're dead, but they're definitely not that good.
As, like, children?
Just, like, yeah, they're still kids, yeah.
Right.
They're, like, in high school and stuff now. And then it just shows, like, them fighting, and then you just see, like, no noise, and just, like, the silhouette of a kid's body falling onto the ground. It's pretty dark.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, we'll see where it goes.
Digimon, not for children.
No, apparently not. Oh, look at that, digital monsters. Oh my god, somebody's dead!
I don't know how far this new marketing strategy is going to go.
Maybe they're trying to capture the people who watched it back in the day.
Maybe.
Do you have anything else you want to chit-chat?
No, I'm ready for a forced review.
You ready for a forced review? Alright, let's go into that then.
Alright.
It's a forced review. Okay, there are very few simple rules in regards to this. One of us each week gives the other person something to review that they have seen or played or read or whatever before. And in the intervening week between podcasts, the other person watches it, plays it, reads it. That's about all you can do. Eats it. You never had a food forced review.
No.
I think
There's so many foods you don't like.
That's true. There's so many foods you don't like as well.
Nobody wants to go down this road.
No, that's true. I say the word consume a lot, considering we never do food.
Yeah.
They have to absorb it. That's a good way of saying it. Absorb it in the intervening week, and then they have to come back and do a review on it. And the only stipulation is that it can't be too, like...
fucked up.
Can't be too fucked up. I was trying to think of a nice way to say it, but it can't be too fucked up.
Or expensive.
Or expensive. Yeah. That's never really come up in the podcast before. But yes, we are kind of cheap.
Yeah.
You made me spend $5 on that 80 days thing, and I'm still
I'm
still upset about that. Yeah, pay me for that. Didn't enjoy it whatsoever. But last week, I gave you the first review of something I flubbed the name on several podcasts ago. And in order to redeem myself, I made you watch it, called Eric the Viking, and not Eric the Red, which is what I called it at the time, which is an actual Viking.
Yes.
It was released in 1989. It scores a classic 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb, so don't let that influence you in any way, Russell.
Well, you know, I'm at the mercy of the crowds.
You are very susceptible to peer pressure.
Yeah.
It's mostly the Monty Python crew, the guys who directed it.
There's a few of them involved.
Quite a few of them.
Yeah.
I keep giving you movies that have got Monty Python crew as
it's a real
secondary characters.
Yeah. And this film felt very similar to Time Bandits.
I suppose so. I don't know if they're directed in any way by the same group of people.
No, but like they have similar people
Similar
involved.
style of humour as well, I guess. Anyway, we'll get into that.
And I was surprised when I asked your girlfriend what she thought of this movie, that she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Whereas she hated Time Bandits.
Do you think she's just like little people? Maybe that's it. Maybe they weed her out.
Maybe.
And that's it. Maybe she
just loves Vikings.
Or maybe she just really likes Vikings.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of I look a bit like a Viking.
I suppose. You don't have like shoulder length hair though.
No, you don't need to. I'm a berserker, clearly.
Berserkers have like shoulder length hair.
Would they? I think like it's very sensible for warriors to have short hair, because then people can't get a grip on you.
Yeah, but you can't like tie little blades into your hair and whip it around and slash people up.
It's true. Anyway, this is directed by Terry Jones, who's one of the Monty Python crew.
Yeah.
And do you know what its catchphrase is? Its tagline, I should say?
Oh, be there or be headed.
Well remembered, Russell.
Yeah.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah, I think it was on the front of the case.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie whose...
with such a great tagline.
Oh! Seen a movie whose tagline is good. It's always like a pun, or it's like, look at this. It's pretty good. It's never... The taglines are never good. Always very cringeworthy. Anyway, I have talked enough about this movie. Proceed, my slave, my movie-watching slave.
Well, that makes it sound weird.
It does make it a bit weird. Ignore it and move on.
Okay, Eric the Viking is the main character, as well as the title of the movie. And he's played by Tim Robbins. And he is a Viking living in a mildly fantastical world. I guess pretty fantastical.
As a history major, how angry did this movie wake you on a scale of like 1 to 10 with historical inaccuracies?
Oh no, it didn't make me angry at all.
Does that stuff get to you, like? Like, if you watched, was it Troy? If you watched Troy, have you seen Troy?
Yeah.
Are you like, oh, that's not how it went?
Well, no, because like that's not a historic. Well, it is historical, but the telling of it
happened.
Yeah, but the writing of it by Homer is like already jazzed up.
I suppose so.
And we don't have any more factual basis.
Like if
to
you watch a movie about like the Napoleonic Wars, that's like not a documentary.
Yeah.
Does that make you go like, no?
Well, no,
it was actually not short.
Usually those sort of things are made by big nerds like me.
Mm.
Or they're comedies, and you know, you can let comedies get away with things. Anyway, Eric, all of his Viking friends and family, bloodthirsty, drunken
carouses.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Eric doesn't want to be like that. He want to
write poetry,
rape and kill and pillage.
He wants to write poetry and just run through the sunshine.
Yeah, basically. He wants peace, whereas all the rest of the Vikings know is war and violence.
Yeah, and they're really into it.
Yeah, they fucking love it.
They're really committed to it. Yeah.
At the start, they have like a big party and they're like throwing axes at this woman who's pinned to a wall.
Which is something that actually happened.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, have you not like looked into this sort of stuff before in the past?
No,
yeah, they used to actually. Well, to get into the details of it, the woman is like tied, spread-eagled to a wall with her ponytail sort of hung up.
Yeah.
And they used to throw throwing axes and try to chop the ponytails off.
Right.
And it was considered quite a good, like you were pretty hot shit if you could do it.
What if you hit her in the face?
Well, then I'm assuming you got fucked up.
Anyway,
that is something that actually happened.
Oh, that's good to know.
There you go.
In this movie, the axes end up like in people's backs, and they like die and slump over the table, and everybody just laughs and gets on with their drinking and axe throwing. And so anyway, Eric sets out to resolve this by waking the gods from their slumber.
Yes, to end the Age of Ragnarok.
The Age of Ragnarok.
Yes.
And without going into every detail of the plot,
which
we may have done previously,
fiend of doing, yes.
His motley crew of Vikings.
Yes. Who he sort of tricks to go on this sort of voyage.
Yeah, going, he's like,
oh, what are you guys,
why,
like
you got no
pansies?
balls?
Yeah. Or what? Come on, you. One, I will go into this. My favourite character is the Berserker and his dad.
Oh, yeah.
The Berserker who never really flies into a proper rage.
Well, he does before they even start on their voyage.
But yeah, he never does it appropriately.
No.
You know, and he never
when
goes
they get into a battle, he's like, oh, come on.
Why can't I get so angry?
Yeah.
And his dad is the best. He's just like, now. There's no point in losing your mind here. We're not in a battle.
Yeah.
His dad's great. And he never goes fully berserk until it's a running joke that he's like, Dad, I know I don't go berserk. Leave me alone.
It's like a guy who like can't quite get it up.
That's true. Yeah, that is very heavily the implied joke. Yeah. Oh, and there's like one guy who's like Weasley little blacksmith's apprentice.
Oh yeah, Loki.
Loki really didn't see that coming. That he was
a traitor. He was some sort of trickster.
Yeah, and all the other Vikings don't feel fear, except for one guy who's like constantly afraid.
Yeah.
And all of like they start feeling fear, and he's like, "Yes, that's what it's like all the time with this." Anyway, I am taking over your review, so proceed.
No, that's all right. It's good that you bring up the comedy elements.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot. It's not a super serious movie by any regard. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because at times it is.
Oh, at times it absolutely is.
Yeah.
It really mixes it up.
Like, there's one scene in the middle where Eric's crew has to go to battle against Half Dan the Black.
Yes.
Gang of villains. It's played by John Cleese. Another hilarious time.
And you would liken the blacks, the warriors, to, like, the guys in the 300.
Yeah, like the Immortals.
The Immortals, yeah.
They're wearing, like, skull masks and everything. And anyway, it's all framed very funnily because Eric thinks he has an invisibility cloak, when in fact he doesn't.
Well, he does, but it only works on one person, yeah.
Very particular individuals. And so he leaps unafraid into battle and starts kicking the crap out of these guys. And Halfdan's like, what are you doing? Why aren't you fighting? And he says, well, nobody's ever fought us before. They're normally too intimidated by our outfits.
Which, of course, gives all the other Vikings courage enough to start the battle and whatnot. Yeah,
so that's all funny. But then, like, in the battle, one of his men dies. And everybody gets all, like, maudlin about it.
That's true.
Which is fair enough because their friend just died, but it's in complete contrast to the...
But even, like, the maudlin death has, like, an aspect of humour to it. Because there's a long-running joke between the guy who dies and another guy that their fathers didn't die valiantly in battle.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have died in battle, my friend. He's like, not like your dad.
Oh, yeah. He said, say hello to my grandfather when you get to Valhalla.
Oh, yeah.
He won't be there. Yeah.
Which really, it's real. It does shift tone quite a lot. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it was quite hard to... I don't know, like, settle into it. Maybe a bit uncomfortable that it kept on swinging from, like, absurd comedy to...
But, yeah, there'd be aspects, like, a scene would happen and, like, one half of the scene...
Yeah.
Like, one side of the scene, like, two people interacting. One of it is super silly, and the other side is super serious.
Yeah.
Like, there's a town sinking because... an island sinking because blood has been spilled in anger.
Yeah.
And, like... Without going into too much detail, all the people on the island are all flancy, flouty, la-di-da.
Yeah.
Very sensitive individuals.
Yeah, who love singing and...
Love singing poorly.
Yeah.
And the Vikings are there on their boat, and they're like, your island is sinking! Come with us! We can save you! Don't drown! And they're like, now, I think you could actually consider that cannot be happening. Yeah. Because nobody would ever do this.
It's impossible, so it's not happening.
But I feel we should create a committee that looks into the reason why.
Yes.
There seems to be an excess of water about the place. And they're just and go, blah, 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 and then they die.
Yeah, they all die.
And all the people on the Viking boat the entire time are like, just what is wrong with you? You're going to die, oh my god. And they're like, no. So it's really intermixed a lot.
Yeah.
But that is, like, basically a lot of the style of the Monty Python humour. Is that the maudlin will be mixed in with the hilarity.
I guess so, but I don't remember everybody dying at the Ministry of Silly Walks.
No, but it does happen. Like, something severe will happen and other people will be like, now, enough of that.
I suppose. Yeah, it just said a bit funnily with me in this one.
I suppose, but it's filmed in the aspects of being like a very British comedy.
Yeah.
But a lot of the actors are American. So that sort of doesn't sit
There's a couple.
There's a couple. Yeah. And they're not overtly British.
Mickey Rooney turns up.
Yep, Mickey Rooney's in it. The main guy, what's his name? Tim Robbins. He's American.
Yeah.
So a lot of the main characters are American. All the Vikings aren't necessarily British.
No. Or Norwegian.
Norwegian, yes. So it really mixes genres, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the point I'm trying to get at.
And it, like, I don't know if it's trying to or just happens to, like, make comment about how, you know, human nature and war and peace and whether there's
undertones, peace.
Yeah. And that on top of the, like, no, not listening, this isn't happening.
Can't be happening.
Blah, 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 blah. It's really bizarre contrast.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it works. To a degree.
To a degree.
Yes. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. But I'm a big fan of British comedy, and I suppose the mixture of the maudlin and the comedic is a bit of a staple in that regard.
Yeah. I think I prefer my comedy just comedy. Or maybe with violence.
I suppose so, yes. But what did you think about, like, it ends on quite a silly note as well.
God, what did happen at the end?
All the women and children are being held captive by Halfdan the Black, and he's about to kill them all unless they throw their weapons down and surrender back in the town.
Oh, yeah.
And then the boat falls out of the sky and crushes them.
No, that was funny.
That was funny, yes.
Yeah. I did like, one of my favourite bits was when they do get to Asgard to try and wake the gods from their slumber. And they get in there and they meet all of the gods, and they're all just children.
Because they've just been woken up from death, basically, yeah.
And they're just like 10-year-old children, and they're all just playing with toys and running around hitting each other. And
But it's all then they come over and they talk to the Vikings, and it's all like, Eric the Viking, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
The age of the apocalypse is no place for you.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You're living people in Asgard. Do you know what happens to living people in Asgard when they die? And at which point, like, he just throws them all in a pit to hell, basically. Yeah.
And Thor's like shooting lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very... I suppose it's a very silly movie at times, yes.
Yeah, it's certainly silly.
Anyway,
it was alright.
Not on par with Time Bandits, you think?
No, not as good as Time Bandits.
No, fair enough.
Not as bad as Detention of the Dead.
No. That's true. I don't think anything could be as bad as Detention of the Dead.
Well,
that's a fair point. How many Vikings out of 10 do you give Eric the Viking? Of which it is not called Eric the Red, it is called Eric the Viking.
I will give it 5 helmets without horns.
You can't just change the scoring system. I've said how many Vikings.
I will give it 5
Also,
Vikings
yes, Vikings never had horns on their helmets.
No.
Are you going to give it 5?
Yeah.
Like, considering I gave a movie or a game like 6, and you're like, whoa, slow down. What is it, a piece of horse shit? You scoring this 5 out of 10 really means that you didn't enjoy it that much.
I said it's alright.
Alright, fair enough. Who am I to
5,
judge?
it's bang in the middle.
Alright.
Well,
Absolutely,
Detention of the Dead got 2.
That's true, it did.
Yeah. What did Time Bandits get?
I think he gave it like a 7, yeah. Anyway, so that brings us to... You've got a weird look on your face, so I don't really... What are you going to give me to review?
Yes, well...
I'm concerned.
I feel that I've been altogether too merciful with my forced reviews.
Well, you never got me back for Detention of the Dead.
No. So now I'm going
unless you count
to...
80 days, which was awful.
Shut up, it was good. I'm going to ask you to review a movie which is... It's probably considered a classic now because it came out many years ago.
Gone with the Wind.
No, not quite that many years ago. It's called Boa versus Python.
Oh, it's one of those stupid... Oh, no, which one of these two animals would win in a fight?
As far as I know, it's the first one.
Oh, God.
That may have started off this trend.
What was the other ones? Like, Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them now.
There is.
But the gist of this one is that a gigantic snake has gotten loose in the backwoods of America.
Of course.
And the best idea they can come up with for neutralizing it is to get another giant snake to fight it.
Where do these snakes come from? Are they just in, like, a zoo?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, shit, the fucking snake got out. Let's call our sister zoo down the road and see if they've got another snake that can battle it.
You have to watch the movie to find out.
Would not, like, Anaconda be one of the first ones where it was, like, a giant animal versus something else?
But that wasn't Anaconda versus anything.
I suppose so. But it was
Anaconda
one of the
versus
first movies.
some chumps in the jungle.
But it was one of the first movies, I suppose, where it was, like, giant animal.
What about King Kong? 1930, whatever.
What about fucking Godzilla then?
Yeah.
I suppose Jaws would be one of the first American-made ones where it's not like of ridiculous proportions.
I'm still sticking with King Kong.
Yeah, but that's to ridiculous proportions.
How long was Anaconda in Anaconda?
This is of an average anaconda size.
But that just bloodthirsty.
Yeah, but it goes to like the ridiculous lengths of why they're there and what happens with the anaconda.
Yeah.
Far more than any normal anaconda would bother trying to eat people.
Oh, yeah, of course.
What was the name of this one again?
Boa versus Python.
Boa versus Python.
Yeah.
Isn't a boa constrictor just a type of a python?
No.
Yes, it is.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. Watch the damn movie.
Oh, God. I don't want to, but I will.
You will. You have no choice. You've made this forced.
I've brought this. Well, you are opening the floodgates now.
No, this is evening the score.
Well, no, but that's not how I see it. So. I don't know. I think, I have always threatened to review the lowest rated movie on IMDb.
That would mean you'd have to watch it as well.
That's true. Am I willing to take that bullet?
It's like mutually assured destruction.
It's war games all over again.
Yeah.
The only winning move is not play. Or not watch in this scenario.
Record a podcast.
Alright, well I think that's about all we have time for this week.
Mm-hmm.
If you like the show, feel free to peruse our other episodes, do you think anybody's come in at episode 7 and gone, nah, I won't worry about the rest?
Maybe they have. Actually, we should highlight that our podcast is actually out in the wild now.
It is, yes. It's on iTunes and various other places where you locate it. And we
people other than us who have listened to it.
That's true, yes. Yeah. I don't know what the current tally is on our SoundCloud page, which is where we upload all this stuff, but I think it's in triple digits.
Whoa.
At this point for our 7 or so episodes. Oh, actually, at the moment it's only like 4 episodes are up. It's accelerating. It's happening. We're going to be mega stars.
Yeah.
But if you liked it, feel free to review it on
Rate and
iTunes.
review us on iTunes.
Yes.
Only if you want to give us 5 stars. If you want to give us less than that, fuck off.
So I was like, I think it's 4 stars. They got room to improve. Yeah. But he did tell me to fuck off. So.
If you're offended by being told to fuck off, don't give us a 1-star review.
If you're really offended, send us an email so I can forward that on to Russell personally.
Yeah.
Also, you can go to our website to see the show notes, which will be a list of links and images of things we've talked about on the podcast today.
Yeah. And you can catch us on social media.
Yes.
On Facebook at facebook.com/popculturepon and on Twitter at popculturepon.
Yep. It's real easy nowadays.
Yeah. We've standardized.
Actually, it used to be, for those who aren't aware, used to be Facebook/Popculture Pontification. And same with the website. You didn't used to be, which I didn't even say the name of. It's popculturepon.weebly.com. In the old episodes, it used to be Popculture Pontification. And I realized when I was editing some audio this afternoon that if I just go in, I can just delete the tification.
Ah, nice.
So it's a little bit janky, but instead of having the wrong links in the one I was editing this afternoon, it's like, you can go to Facebook /popculturepon.
Very nice.
Anyway, feel free to come back next week and join us again for another episode of Popculture Pontification.
See ya.
A great sign. How long you had that sitting in your pocket, your back pocket?
About 4 seconds.
About 4 seconds. Really put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.